Hello, welcome. Our souls and the universe is in constant communication with us, but life gets busy, things get out of alignment here, and it can be really difficult to hear. So today's pick a card reading is, what is your soul asking of you? And I don't want you to feel disheartened if you feel like you're struggling with this, because it can be tough to get out of our own way or to clearly hear without bias from our minds. But by the time we are done your reading today, you are going to know exactly what it is your soul is asking of you. Now, just so you know, we are doing our intuitive notes along with the cards, and I felt this would be a good one for us to choose by sound. So that's why there's no cards out on the table. This is going purely on the frequency of the tone to bring you to the right reading. Okay? So, for group number 1, for group number 2, and group number 3. Now, you can always choose more than one reading, okay? Especially if you're resonating with multiple frequencies. And the timestamp is down below in the description. You make your selections, and I will get us started in the reading. Hi, group 1. Okay, we're going to start off with our intuitive notes. Now, the very first thing, strange as it sounds, the first thing I had seen was a watch, like on a wrist. And it gave me this feeling of waiting for something, or that timing was important in your group. And I had the feeling of almost being in limbo, like that this waiting or waiting for clarity was causing you to kind of be in a place of not knowing where to go, which way to go, what to do, that sort of thing. But it did give me this nail-biting energy. So that's my sign for worrying, stressing over. It could be more than one thing. It's hard to say. But in the background of that, I was seeing landscape scenery. And so I drew a couple mountains here. Now, I know that you guys are going to have different worries and stresses. But with this group, there was something about concern for others, other people that you are close to, whether they're family, spouse, partner, but the energy of a child or children also came in here. And I felt like I put their choice, because I feel like these are choices you have to make. These are decisions that you have to make. And these are big ones. And I put move or change, because this is a group reading, but the energy that was coming through with this felt like there's some sort of move that needs to happen, whether that's physically of your home, or it's a change in jobs, a change in career, a change in your family structure. And I feel like there's a lot of internal questioning going on about, like, what do I do that's best for everyone? And that's really important. It truly is. Everyone is important. But I felt like I drew a little, on a heart monitor, the little bleep as the heart is beating, because I felt like you were kind of flatlining here, because you're in this sort of limbo state, that it's leaving you in a kind of stagnated or a stalemate, if you want to put it that way. And there's something about like needing this jump start to get you going again and get you into action and taking action on these decisions that need to be made. So, and I put that like consumed with it. Like, I feel like this is taking up most of your time, thought, energies in your day. And I put an arrow over the back because these are people that you love, whether these are your children's spouse, whoever these people are. And of course, their well-being matters. Absolutely. However, the one message that came in so clearly here was, you matter. What you want and what you need matters. And I felt like there was, Spirit is saying, or your soul is saying, you have this caretaking tendency to always ensure everyone else is okay, that this is best for them. Even if you were to serve dinner and you were short on one of the items, you would give yourself less so that everybody else had enough, And while that's beautiful, it is important in this decision that you're making that you focus on you and what is going to be best for you. And the only way that I can put this is, in an emergency on a plane, the very first thing they say is put your own oxygen mask on first. And this is you putting on your mask first and then taking care of the others in your life. Now, what exactly they're talking about? Well, we are going to have to find out, aren't we? Okay, so let's get the cards here. Okay, what is the soul asking of you in group 1? We have royal order. Okay, which is about taking care of the self and the body. Okay, we have the light within. Yes. And see, I feel like that light within is talking about, and we have companion's love. So this companion's love makes sense that that's showing up, because while oftentimes this is talking about your intimate relationships, the energy that's coming through here is the people that you love, and it's that kind of intimacy. And so I understand that that's there right next to this great big teardrop. So I feel like Spirit is completely backing up what I was saying there. But that light within card says that there's been tears or an emotional process that's going on, and that it's a cleansing. But I feel like this cleansing is more of a releasing and a letting go. And I feel like with this change or move decision that is coming, that is the release that is needed in this situation. But it's funny enough that the Royal Order showed up as well, because Royal Order is about taking care of your physical body. And I feel like, where I was saying you guys are so others oriented, that it's like a pulling back and coming into self and really focusing on not just what you want, but your needs and self-care. Because I feel like what they're talking about with the energies that are in here, that this is where you end up feeling run down, feeling tired, like you don't have the energy, and maybe end up with a sniffles or a cold or something because of what's going on. And the Royal Order is like, get your physical body in order first and foremost, and this energy so that it has what it needs as you go through this cleansing and releasing process. Now let's get out our crystal grid. Okay, what messages do we have? Okay, so we have the wisdom card. Makes sense. And one more here. Foundations. Yes, exactly. So with that wisdom card, it says turquoise under here, and they're using turquoise to represent that. And funny enough, they have that deer. And that deer, the antlers on animals always represent our intuitive, natural connection to divine, higher self, soul in that regard. And I feel like there's a this is where they're saying you have the wisdom, you have the information, you have the knowledge, but then it's trusting what it is that you're feeling is truly the right thing to do for you in this situation. And with that Foundations card coming out, that's that big change, that big move that needs to happen, because it's the base of your life. It's what you are standing on that gives you your stability to move forward, and it needs to be reworked in some way. And I really feel like it's the harder choice, the harder decision that you have to make, like the one that is not the easy solution. But in the end, this is what brings you into more stability, a sense of peace, a sense of being yourself in some way. Now, I know that sounds strange, but that's the energy that comes in with us. For many of you in this situation right now, I do feel like this may be about letting go of a partner, but that isn't for all of you. I'm just saying that is the energy that is coming through here. Okay, so let's get our tarot. Okay, Spirit, that's the one. Feels tingly, we're taking it. So we have the 4 of Swords, yes. 8 of Wands. I'm going to take Ace of Jars, which is Cups. And I feel like there's one more in here. There it is. 8 of Pentacles. Okay, so this is interesting that we have one of each suit here. So again, that is talking about this balance that needs to happen, that this is coming in from every area of life. And that's where that balance is happening to create a better foundation. And with this 8 of Pentacles here, I feel like that's where I was saying this move can be a physical moving or a changing career or jobs. And with this 8 of Pentacles, this is a manifestation card. And it says that, you have all the skills, abilities, talents to be able to take your work to the next level. So this can be promotion, but sometimes it's changing jobs in order to get into the right space and the right place for you. And then the 8 of Wands is talking about things being in a process of manifestation, and that as things are altering and changing, things get bumpy. And that's the bumpy energy that I feel here. It's that limbo energy of like, this new amazing part of your life, this next chapter needs to start, but it's not always so easy to let go of the life and as it has been up to this point. Now that 4 of Swords is saying, you need a timeout, and that completely goes right along with the Royal Order card, because it's saying that there's a respite needed from everything that is happening there, a bit of solitude and quiet time to get yourself sorted out, to get yourself into this alignment and kind of rejuvenate or kickstart your energy back into flow. Because with you guys, that's one of the main words I want to say, is getting things or yourself into flow. And with that Ace of Jars coming up here, aces are new starts, fresh starts. And usually, Jars is cups. It's usually talking about a fresh start in your intimate relationships, but I'm going to say a fresh start in multiple ways. And again, this Ace of Cups or Ace of Jars really likes to show up in the readings with you guys. Even with a completely different deck, it's coming up a lot. But it's saying that you've come to the point of really becoming clear within yourself of what you do want in your life and what you do not, what you are willing to accept in your life and what you are not. And that you have the discernment now to go out and begin with this new energy coming in, making choices that are truly best for you. And that's where, with that Ace of Jars, I want to flip it over and say, you matter. What you want and need matters, because that's what that Ace is saying. But this is talking about new starts in relationships. So we have career changes, changes in relationship, and really revitalizing yourself and getting yourself back into that place where you feel emotionally strong and able to deal with things. This is you getting out of limbo and getting into go mode. You're just going to do it. Okay, so let's get the dice. Because what I want to know is, what kind of time frame are we talking for you to get from this place of feeling not able to move through or out of this? How much time do you need to recuperate so that you feel strong enough to make the choice and decisions that you need to make to move you to this next level of career and relationships that's truly more in alignment for you? So how long, soul? How long do they? And we have a 3. Okay. So I'll just bring that up for you guys actually so that you can see. So about 3 months. Okay. So we're not rushing out the door with this. And what I want to know is the energy, this new relationship or new people that are coming in, what kind of energies do they have? And we have the Sun and Libra. Okay, that's really beautiful. So with the Sun, you could say that that's Leo-like energy, but these are people who are gregarious and open, and normally with Leo energy coming in, these people are more creative. They're very good at the arts. They're very good at putting themselves out there, and they have huge hearts. And honestly, that's really what I feel like you guys are needing, is this love and support in coming through this. And then with that Libra energy here, that really is talking about this balance again, because Libra is represented by scales. We have all 4 suits: foundation, balance, balance. It's about getting you restored back to balance. But the other thing is that Libras are very relationship focused, and not in an unhealthy, codependent way. Not at all. Is that they're very much about give and take and that balance in relationship. So I feel like what they're talking about with this coming in, and I have to say, even with the career moves that are happening here, the career moves are bringing balance. This change, whether that is a promotion or new work completely, this brings much more balance into your life. And it allows you to shine, because Sun, as well as Leo, also represents the soul itself. And I feel like they're saying that this is much more in alignment to your true purpose, your true path, your true soul expression in this. So let's get out our runes and see what they have to say. We'll just get these all down here. Okay. Now I want to start with this one, Berkano, because this one is actually talking about your mental, emotional, physical state of being. So, we've got now 3 things talking about that here, you guys. And it's talking about a regeneration, a renewal. But this also says there is a promise of new beginnings, love blossoming, and creation. And that's that creative energy that's being brought in with the Sun Leo energy in career. So, this is backing up absolutely everything that they have said so far with your reading. And with Thagaz, this one is talking about clarity. Sometimes it's talking about like an enlightenment or awakening process happening. But a lot of the time it is, I want to say, a higher awareness of situations, like a greater understanding of what's truly happening and a clarity that comes from that greater understanding. But this talks about change, amazingly enough. Change, it can say transformation, but there's a lot that goes on with this, that it's about planning. And that's that feeling that I wanted to come back here for a second with that watch, that waiting and timing feeling. Thagos really goes along with that energy there. So again, this is not about just rushing out and doing this. This is about you getting yourself in order. And through this rejuvenation, this rest and retreat, this respite energy, this is what's bringing through this transformation. And with this comes more confidence in yourself, confidence in your choices, and it brings security, happiness, and balance. Like, how beautiful is that? Now, Rye, our big R, you're going to laugh when you hear what this means. Because Rye, is about a literal change of location. And I feel like that's that big move or change that's happening here. And, sometimes it's talking about, it could be like out of body travel, or it could be like a metaphorical change of location, like, your mindset or understanding changes. But with everything that has been coming through so far with your reading, I really do feel like they are talking about this change of a location. There could be travel in here for some of you, but this is a huge change also, not just in location, but a change of perception and big epiphanies and awakeners. And I feel like, on a soul level, your soul is talking about you coming into this greater awareness or understanding, if you want to put it that way. But I feel like this comes through just having this time out and really focusing on self-care for right now. Forget about making the hard decisions. This is about getting this heartbeat going again in your energy, this revitalization. So this is the time where I'm going to say this is so important that you are doing things for you that feed your heart, feed your soul, and it's personal. It's between you and your soul, between you and God. Take that kind of retreat and break from life. Get yourself in this place where you feel a little bit more emotionally balanced, where you've had your purge, your emotional cleanse. Because with this card, it is called Light Within. And this is talking about that inner light really shining out here in the world. And I feel like that's that big, beautiful promise that is coming through the tarot, through the oracle, and through the runes. This is beautiful. So basically, your soul is saying it wants you to start from the ground up with the very foundation of your life and getting yourself into a place of emotional balance so that you can make these hard choices and decisions to really move forward, and that things really are going to lighten up and shift in both the relationship and career department. You're really coming into a place of walking your true path. It's just the letting go of the old to move into the new. So if you found your reading helpful and you gained good insights, please do sprinkle some love on the like button for me. And I'll be looking for your comments about your reading. I really want to hear how it resonated for you. And as always, I love you. I can't wait to see you again. Mwah. Take care. Hi, group 2. Okay, so we're starting with our intuitive notes first. Now, the very first thing that came to me was this feeling of social. And I mean, this feels like social butterfly, or even if you're not a social butterfly, there's a lot of interacting out here with the world. And I wrote the word tame because I felt like, not that you guys are wild Bettys or wild Joes, but it isn't easy to tame you guys down. You're quite I guess you're wild, but in a really beautiful way. And it isn't about taming it down, but what happened is as I sat in this feeling of social, I felt very focused on, I put my little line here down into relationships. And I felt like it was almost consuming me, whether this is talking about an individual relationship or relationships with multiple people, friends, and all of that. It's going to be different for everybody. However, it gave me this feeling of feeling almost unfocused. And of course, I drew a line down here that the relationships have become a focus and almost like a distraction from self. And that's where I put a deflection from self, because I felt a little bit uncomfortable when I had to focus on me and my life. And it's almost like not a purposeful distraction, but it's almost like using that to distract yourself from what's going on your insides. Because I have sore spots written down here, and it felt like there's some tender little spots inside of you that they hurt, and it's not necessarily a fun place to get into there. But with that, I felt like your commitments, now it's different for everybody, so I don't know if they were talking about your commitment to yourself or commitment to other people. There's something about commitments going on here. So again, that's going to be different for everybody, and the cards will clarify this more for us. Now, I wrote, in life, check. For self, me. And what this was saying is I felt like you're very clear about what you want out of your life, what you want to get out of life. But what you actually want for yourself, and your own needs, that's where I felt, again, this disconnection from self, or from, soul, I guess, if you want to put it that way. But even with all of this going on, I still feel that you're feeling the calling, the feeling of calling to come into focus and to settle into your path and your purpose. And that in this feeling of calling, there's this restless almost feeling of whatever it is that I'm doing now is not quite it. It's not quite right. And it is about this settling down. And so that's where that taming, it's not taming this beautiful, fierce, powerful energy that you have. Not at all. It's about bringing it into this focus and channeling it into something meaningful in your life, something that means a lot to you. And with that, I had this feeling of training or learning that is coming along with this sense of purpose. And or for others, this may be that you are more meant to be in a teacher teaching kind of role. And, because it's a group reading, it's a little bit different for everyone. So that's what the intuitive notes said. So let's get our cards. Whoa, that one went flying. Oh my goodness. Okay, so the first one out is creative. I'll straighten that out. Which truly, you guys do have that hugely. There it is. And third eye, makes sense. And that's the one there. And encoded. See, when it comes to being very social or people-oriented, if you want to put it that way, that's where that third eye energy is coming in. Because there is that ability that you guys have, this ability to really connect in with people. And I feel like this might be one of the reasons why you do a bit of this deflection, because you are one of the more empathic, sensitive type feely souls. And then we have the encoded card. Now with this one, we have 1 and 2 happening here. It's sometimes difficult to see on camera, but deep within this fractal are all these symbols and signs like waves or frequencies. And I feel like that is talking about frequency, but this is talking about how the world is encoded, that our reality is encoded, and being able to read through that to the reading those signs and symbols and deciphering the world. And I feel like that's why this focus needs to come, because this is part of the gift that you guys have. And I feel like when it comes to other people, maybe when you're in a personal or deep relationship, it's difficult when you're have lessons to learn with people to see what's going on below the surface there. But in general, with people, you're very insightful and very tuned in. But this is about honing your intuition and your gifts of seeing in a much more profound way. And then we have the creative card, and this is like the energy of a world being formed in the cosmos. And this is talking about that wild energy that you guys have. And this is creator energy, but this is also creative energy. So we'll have to wait to get out the rest of the cards to see that. But I would not doubt that many of you, or a lot of you in this group, are highly creative people, and in the actual arts, singing, dancing, painting, that sort of thing, or are highly creative minds, because you have this feeling of genius in here, but you're just fluttering out and about in the world without aim and focus right now. Okay, so let's get out our crystal grid cards and see what we have. Let's move this one down here. So we have inner divinity. Makes sense to me. That's the one right there. There's 2. Okay, we have to take them. Angels. Oh my goodness, we have angels. Okay, I understand what that is saying. And crossroads. Now that's interesting. We're gonna, I don't even know where to put it, you guys. Now I find it interesting that the crossroads came up, because I wasn't feeling that in the intuitive notes. However, group 1 has crossroads energy also. So if you did resonate with the sound for group 1, I am going to say watch that one as well. However, this is, these choices, decisions, this is about you guys getting into your calling, your path, and your purpose, and the choices and decisions that you need to make for yourself to get you into alignment with that. But then we have these 2 beautiful, much more spiritual cards, honestly, with inner divinity and angels. And where I said you guys are so that sensitive, feeling, intuitive, reading type souls, and creativity and intuition come through the same channel. And then you utilize that energy either as reading the information as intuitive or creating from it. Okay? And I have to say that you guys are like the earth angels in this realm. You are these highly sensitive, tuned in, people-oriented beings. And I have to say, even if you don't resonate with angels per se, there are high-level beings working with you. They truly are. You have the entire support of the universe working with you. And a lot of what you're going through in this, needing to come back to center and focus on yourself and focus your energies and your gifts is about you stepping into your true divinity, your true gifts in this world, and learning how to use them, own them, and operate with them. Now, let's get out our tarot. They make lovely sounds when they... So, first one, we have the Magician. Okay. And that one's sticking out to me. Oh my goodness. And we have the Death. We have 2 trump cards right off the bat. And we have a 1 and a 1. So that's beginner energy, starter energy, entrepreneurial type energy coming in here. Okay. And one more. No, it's in here somewhere. There. This one is trying to fall out. This is the one. We have the 6 of Jars, which jars is cups. So we have the 6 of Cups. That is beautiful. And we want this one. And the Queen of Wands. So with that Queen of Wands, she does represent someone who is strong-willed, which is making me giggle because that's the energy that was coming in here. However, the Queen of Wands is also highly intuitive, highly tuned in, and very socially connected. So I have to say this Queen of Wands is representing you guys completely. But the other energy that she carries is being highly alluring, intriguing to other people. And she's passionate. And this is your mojo, your drive, your passion, and getting it focused back on yourself and focused into your career, because this is that ability to work with people in a very leadership type of role. And then the 6 of Jars, which is the 6 of Cups, that's also talks about working with other people. It's a collaborative type of energy that comes with this. So a part of this is talking about the letting go of the past, that it's not about recreating the past, and that Magician is actually describing that even better or backing it up, but that it's about moving forward in a way that is more focused on the joy and pleasure that you want to experience in your life, and sharing that with yourself and with others. So again, that connection, that social connection that's happening there. Because the Magician, it does bring in the energy of confidence, but it's also a huge element of manifesting that happens with the Magician. There's a time element, the ability to change timelines. If you want to talk about quantum jumping, quantum leaping into new timelines, the Magician does bring that energy. However, he's mostly about being able to manifest, consciously manifest, and that's that creative energy that comes with the creative card, and manifest what it is you want in your life. It's the alchemy of your essential soul gift, if you want to put it that way. But then we have that Death card sitting there. This is talking about that release and letting go. This is the transformation. This is the transformation of no longer focusing on everyone else, on focusing on distracting yourself and keeping yourself kind of protected here. This is a transformation so that you really are stepping up into your power and stepping up into yourself. And this requires a releasing and letting go in order for this to happen. And I feel with that Six of Jars, it's saying the best or the most useful way for you to be able to make this transformation is to begin to look at and focus on those things that bring you joy and how you can engage that and share with that with others, because you are taking some sort of training or learning something new in order to bring you into this path, or you are the teachers yourselves, you guys. So I just want to see, how long is this transformation process that you are going through? 12. Okay. So we have the 12 there. So again, this is not just a quick turnaround. This is a process in and of itself to redirect yourself and redirect your energies. So with that transformation, what kind of energies are you working in? Okay, we have Leo and we have Mercury. Okay, and that really does make sense because Leo is creative, which I've already described in that card. Leo is also ruled by the sun. The sun represents the soul in astrology. So again, it's pointing back to this being a part of your soul path and purpose and coming into your inner divinity, that anything else that is going on in your life is not as important as you coming into alignment with your path and purpose. Now, with that Mercury there, Mercury rules either Gemini or Virgo. Well, both. She rules both, which is service and communication. And nothing could be more suiting to this teacher energy that you have. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of you are actual intuitive readers or here to teach different, it may not all be spiritual stuff that you're teaching, but that whatever it is you are teaching brings out the best out of other people as well in this. And I feel like that Mercury really is working here with our Queen of Wands, which is your truest, highest expression, because she is so passionate and is that leader kind of energy. Now, as far as runes, let's get out some of these. I know, runes, don't make fun of me. Oh my goodness, look at that. Okay, so I have to start with this. We have Ansus, and this really is much like the Mercury. So it represents messages, signals, communications, much like the intuition card. And this is like, sometimes this is talking about seeking counsel or seeking guidance, that there's wisdom to be gained. But I really feel like this is again pointing back to you guys are the wisdom keepers. You are the ones who give the wise counsel, who that is a part of your path and your purpose. And I feel like your soul is really doing everything it can to tell you that it's time to get onto your purpose and to start sharing your gifts with other people. Now, what's funny is that Perthro represents divine wisdom, occult wisdom, if you want to put it that way. And it can say that there's a feeling of your path or your future feeling like it's covered or clouded, that you can't, it's hidden in some way. And there's a feeling uncertain. And I know that that's the energy that is coming through the cards with that, like, that's my path and purpose. And I have to say, it really is a huge part of your path coming up here is to work with these more subtler energies more in a spiritual way. And this is saying that this will be uncovered, that it's through the esoteric practices, through counseling and teaching and intuition, that your gifts really shine and explode open. Because Kanos, this one is inspiration and passion, the same with the Queen of Wands, but it also represents vision and intuition, just like the Queen of Wands. So this is like the Queen of Wands in ruin form. And this is also the power of light. And I feel like it's talking about, with that inner divinity card, the power of your light. And it talks about being able to create your own reality, and that there is a power and a strength within you. So you guys are hugely powerful in being able to manifest and create the future and realities that you want to have, even if you feel up to this point that it hasn't been so, because you are truly moving into a much more empowered time. Spirit's just saying, stop distracting yourself with these other things that they aren't as important as this, as you being out here and shining this amazing light that you have to shine in the world, that you are powerhouses, and you have a lot to give and offer in the world. So I really want to encourage you again to watch reading number 1, because you'll be surprised how closely they fit together. Now, if you feel like your reading was inspiring and informational, please do sprinkle some love on the like button for me. And as always, you know I love you. I cannot wait to see you again next week. Mwah. Take care. Hi, group 3. Okay, we are going to start with our intuitive notes first. So I had 2 things come at the same time as being first, and it was like this world. And I drew these eyeballs because it was like looking out at the world and being caught in looking out there, and this feeling of lost. And I have to say it was soft, because it wasn't like I'm completely lost in the world. It was a very gentle kind of feeling of, there's something about your group. You guys are very awake, very aware of what is going on in this world. You know, if you want to put it like, you are the truthers, the truth seekers, the truth seers. And we all know that since, over the last 4 years, things have really amped up. And it's feeling to me like, as that has been amping up, the antics and the craziness, you have been feeling more lost, because it's feeling more incongruent with who you are. And that's where I wrote incongruent. And this world, how to function. Like, how are you supposed to move and operate as this beautiful soul and light in such a dark, heavy realm? And that's where the no news. And with that, like, what I was actually feeling was like social media feeding into this. Because I have a feeling that most of you who are awake and aware, you're not watching regular mainstream news. You know the truth and you know better. But there's something about where you're getting your information from and being kind of locked into that and getting this constant steady stream about information of the heavier stuff that's happening here. And that's where I said it's hooked you in. And there has to be you need to stop and you need to be cold turkey about it. Because even though I know you feel like it's keeping you informed, it's keeping you locked in to that dynamic, because there's something very important about you coming back to center, coming back to the love and the light that you are. And that's why I wrote, you are the light. So when I'm saying come back to center and come back to love, I felt like instead of dedicating time to seeing what's happening out in this world, that you need to come back to the basics of being within your own center, meditating and chanting prayer. And even if you aren't that spiritual, I'd have to say things that bring you back into the beauty and the joy of the world, and focusing on your hobbies, crafts, getting out in the world, getting your feet on the ground, grounding, and connecting with people in a loving, meaningful way, and sort of unhooking yourself from that, because it's siphoning off a lot of your energy. Now, there's a lot more that needs to be said here about what your soul is trying to tell you. Okay, so let's get out our Path of the Soul cards. That's the one right there that I want. And we have clarity. Yep. And that one here. Red native. Yep, that completely backs up what I was saying here, because that's about your spiritual path and practices. Oh my goodness. And we have the Ascension card. Holy smokes. That's amazing. So we're going to start, I think we need to start with the Ascension card, because this is like, this fractal came out this way, and I was shocked when I had first seen it, because you can see the outline of a person and the spinal cord. This is like the energetic body, and this is talking about that ascension process. So, we could say this is about the new timeline, the new earth, new reality, the shifting of consciousness that is happening in our dimension or realm right now. And I know that you know what I'm talking about with that. And that everything that is happening here, from our perspective, we cannot know and understand why these things are happening, but it is all part and parcel of our own personal soul journey of ascending it to a higher consciousness, a higher awareness, and a higher understanding. And you guys are very much that group who are in that. Like, I feel like when it comes to this being awake and aware, you're only going to experience more. You're awakening more. More stuff is coming to you. And that's why it's so important to keep your base grounded in your spiritual truth, because that stuff that's going on is a part of what it does is tries to pull us out of our spiritual center and being and get lost. It does make us lost. And that it's funny because that is the energy that I wrote there. And then we have the red native card. And I absolutely love this fractal. I mean, I'm in Vancouver, and there are these amazing totem poles everywhere. And these yellow symbols here in the middle, they remind me of totem poles. So red native is talking about in indigenous culture here in North America, they talk about the red road. And walking the red road means walking your path, staying in alignment and in integrity with yourself, with what you feel is right and pure and true to who and what you really are. And they're talking, your soul is literally talking about you walking your red road and coming back into the basics of your spiritual work. And I feel like that's why that clarity card has shown up, because the clarity card is talking about becoming less clouded in your mind, kind of seeing through the play that's going on here with the stuff that's happening in the world, and pulling back so that you have this space, this breather, and really coming back into a sense of being and perspective that is much more clear and true to what is really going on above the puppet show that's happening down here. Now, I want to get out our cards. Now, there's more that's going on for you guys than just this stuff. And I want to get, that's the one right there. Okay. So we have the manifestation card. Yes, that completely makes sense. And this one is trying to fall out. So trying to figure out how to get it here. And we have the gratitude card. Beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. It's interesting that the manifestation card has come out, because group 2, their reading was very focused on manifesting and creating. So if you did resonate with the sound frequency of group 2, I'm going to suggest you watch that reading as well, because there's more information in there for you. However, this is talking about manifestation, and we're talking about what you're focusing on, what you're watching, and it's important that you're coming back to this place here, because what you focus on, what you pay attention to, what you carry in your thoughts during the day is what manifests more of in your reality out here. And it's almost like they're saying, unhook from that, because this needs to be your focus, so that you are in this place of creating and manifesting things that are truly in alignment to you, manifesting from the light, if you even want to put it that way. And that gratitude card is there because I feel like with the negativity that is out in our reality right now, it can be a challenge to come to this place where you're saying, where you feel grateful. But I feel like even if we don't say gratitude, let's just use the word coming into a place of acceptance of what is and being at peace. So I want to say peace and gratitude with that card. But, you know, the practices that go along with gratitude practice, whether that's journaling or whether that's just taking some time each day to be thankful. And I mean, even just basic things like, thank you, Spirit, for this beautiful warm cup of cocoa or whatever. I mean, just the simple things. It begins to switch the energy, because your energetic field will create more of this in your life, in reality, and ultimately out here in the world itself. You know, we have a direct impact on changing the frequency that this dimension is functioning in. But first, we have to change our own frequency. And that's what this is talking about. But I know there's more personal stuff for you guys. So let's get out the tarot cards because, okay, so we have the Prince of Jars. So Jars represents cups, and Prince is the page. And we have the Prince of Wands, or the Knight, sorry. And Prince of Wands, wow, my goodness, 2 princes. And we have the Strength card. Look at that. And just one more. That's the one right here. It's trying to fall out on me. And we have Rebirth, number 10. Okay, so let's start with our major arcana here. And I meant to say 20. There's 2 10s here. So the rebirth card represents the judgment card in the regular tarot deck. And so there is an energy about get inner contemplation, kind of taking a break or a retrieve in some sort of way. That contemplation coming with the returning to basics, that meditating, your spiritual practices, that in that it implies sort of a spiritual rebirthing. But even more, with that judgment card, it is talking about a restoration or a returning of balance of chaos and chaotic energy. And I mean, that is so absolutely true about what's going on here in the world and in your reading. And it's almost like that this energy, this practice brings that unruliness into some sort of order, that there is order here. And there can be also some sort of formalization of something, like there could be signing contracts and things like that. It really depends on each of you individually. But I'm going to say, if there's anything like that in your world or in your realm happening right now, it's a good outcome that comes with this. Now, we also have the Strength card, and this is really talking about coming into a place within yourself that it's not by force that your true inner strength is born, actually illuminates from you in a natural sort of way. And there's an ability to endure and come through whatever it is that you are faced with and challenged with. So even if we just read the 2 cards, rebirth, strength, there's a rebirth of your inner strength, your inner solitude, if you want to put it that way. I mean, fortitude, your inner fortitude, your ability to be able to not just endure, but thrive through difficult situations. Okay, so we have 2 princes here, the Prince of Jars and the Prince of Wands. So with that Prince of Jars, it is talking about like passion and enthusiasm, creativity, like even sensitivity, but it's also talking about being introspective. So it's talking about going within. Again, these cards keep pointing to that. They're saying that because this is about you getting your mojo back, getting focused on creating the good things that you want in this world with that manifestation card, and really coming back into reviving your sense of passion for life and being here. And then the Prince of Wands, this one is also about passion, but it's more about like energy and action and taking action. But it's quite visionary in what it wants to move forward to. And that's where that higher calling really does come in here. Okay. So 1, 2, 3. Oh, I'm excited that all these showed up, because this one is about spiritual protection. Like it talks about warding off evil. And I feel like they are actually talking about, like it says, a protective force, if you want to put it that way. And I feel like that in some ways really fits the energy of what we were talking about here. Because when you are coming back into yourself and into the light and stop focusing on that stuff out there, it is this, I want to put it this way, that it's like a spiritual buffer for you to really nurture yourself within. That's how that feels. And I'm saying that because we also have Yara. And this specifically talks about coming into a place of peace, peacefulness, hopefulness. It describes prosperity, manifestation, prosperity, and expectation. expectation of good things to come. So I feel like, your soul is saying it is, coming into that gratitude is switching things up for you and putting you into a place where it really opens you up for more of these beautiful things in your life to happen. So Laguz this is like psychic dreams, intuition, being connected through the dream time, if you want to put it that way, and imagination. And these are all things that relate to manifesting, how we manifest, especially when it comes to ascension. But there's something huge with this about healing as a gift and healing as an ability. And there is something here with the energy, the source or truth of who you are as the healers. And I feel like that really sums up this coming back to yourself, this coming into this rebirth and all of this, because out here, there's healing for you to do out in the world. And I feel like there are some energies that we can explore here. I want to see what energies is group 3 needing or working with. Oh my goodness. That's right. So we have Pluto. So with Pluto is like the death in a way. It's death and rebirth, which we have here, the rebirth card. It breaks down whatever isn't working and it rebuilds it in a better way. And this is very much, Pluto is so much about power. If you want to break it down like this, so we have the sign of Capricorn, which is ruled by Saturn. So we have Saturn and Pluto, power and authority, the very issues that you're dealing with out there. But it's about bringing yourself back into this focus, because ultimately it is you who is the power and authority in your world. And especially with this healing energy that they are just coming out with. So I feel like there's less boundary with that Capricorn energy. Capricorn is very, it is ruled by time. So it slows things down. So things aren't moving super fast when we've got this Saturn Capricorn energy coming in. But there's a dedication to a perfection of skills, a perfection of training, whatever that is that's there, and becoming an authority in some way. And I feel like this is a flip of the table or a flip of the script, that it's you coming into this place of being your own authority. So let's just get out our other tarot deck here. I just want to quickly see, oh my goodness. And the Ace of Shells. Okay. If you feel drawn to any of the other readings, I'm going to say you need to go watch them. This is a clue, because these cards have come up in the other readings. This is a new beginning, a new start, something coming in through this rebirth. And it can be a relationship, but I want you to see the two words that are here is happiness and abundance. And I feel like that truly is what this shift, what your soul is asking of you, is to shift, because this is about you coming into more of that joy, peace, love, spiritual juice. And then the Magician is willpower creation, but the Magician is very much about manifesting. And so I feel like they're bringing that up again, that you can make a change and a difference for yourself in how you're experiencing this world and what is manifesting for you in this world. So how long before we see this transformation in this new energy coming in here? And we've got 4. So in about 4 months, That's when this big shift is happening for you, where it's less focused on there and more focused on you. Now, I hope you resonated with your reading. If you did, please do sprinkle some love on the like button for me. And as always, you know I love you. I cannot wait to see you again. Take care. Mwah.